no, they just go for the Darkseer. So again, something weird is going on with this Doom, because that is almost certainly going to be Gojira's Nyx Assassin and Sacred's Darkseer. So big old question mark over his head, but that also makes it feel like this has to be Tiny mid. It has to be Dark Mago taking this hero. I
Mhm.
still refuse to see Tiny as a carry, as most of the Dota world also agrees, but they decide to just go for the Nyx Darkseer combo, and sure, it's a great Nyx game so far. I think the Darkseer will enable it even more, of course, because now he's got an Iron Shell to run around and be a mad lad with, but we'll have to see. And of course, that also takes away quite a few of Knight's heroes, changes up the field completely, but moves him away from any illusion type carry that he would want to go for. There still is the Monkey King kicking around, and I feel like that could be their easy option. But any hero that's going to feel comfortable taking those creeps under tower is also going to be quite happy if they wanted to go for something like the Drow instead.
Mhm. Yeah, they've got some options, even though the Darkseer does make things a little more complicated. But there it is, the Knight Monkey King. We got to see it, obviously, back in the group stage, and
Fight,
it
fight,
was
fight.
pretty impressive. So can't really complain too much about that choice. Gives them some team fight strength as well with the Wukongs. So not a bad choice for them. Of course, I do have some concerns if the Doom is able to get onto the Monkey King, maybe before something like a Wukong's, because Monkey King is not quite that hero that can just fight through even though the Doom's on top of him.
Yeah, and now again, counter pick the Doom in lane, even though it's not going to be a Doom in the off lane, or at least you wouldn't think it is. What are Thunder Awaken going to ban out here? They probably should just ban out Hector's carries and then say that this is going to be Stinger Doom, but I'm
Hmm.
also curious to see what they call, and yeah,
Okay.
well, that's the easy one. That's maybe your free ban, just covering not just that, but also your mid lane in case it ended up being a Slark versus the Ember, but I do think just look to ban out as many of his heroes as possible, and then, well, see if you can find him in disadvantageous matchup versus the Monkey King, while actually Illich is the one that's going to feel kind of the hurt here. This is where waiting all this time to 24 pick your offlaner becomes pretty difficult, even though it is funny to see respect ban of the Slardar.
Yeah, that's just not something that we're used to seeing for quite some time, but hey, it was pretty impressive what Illich did with the Slardar the last time around, so the ban makes sense in this context. Meanwhile, final ban from Thunder Awaken does get the Phantom Lancer out of the pool, and we'll see for Beast Coast what the option is gonna be, because honestly, I feel like Thunder Awaken have it right. We did not see much from the Carry Doom the last time around. Carry Tiny just still is not a thing, so see what it is they look to pick up here. But ET, looking at their lineup, it feels like on the durability front they might already be okay, so can they afford to maybe get Hector something a little bit greedier if this is the carry option for them?
Well, greed is good and illusions are good. Yet again, versus the Monkey King, he can really only afford to stick on to one hero at a time, and that's what he wants to do. But also, anybody that's going to be able to get in and out of that Wukong's command is going to be immediately higher up value. I just hope that they don't end up making this a carry Doom, and they're looking for Dark Mago's hero right now, and they make Stinger play the Nyx, even though Stinger's played the Nyx before. And I knew they were going to pick Phoenix. I knew they were going to pick Phoenix because it breaks all the trees and there's not enough damage and nobody can hit egg, and they make their draft just look. I'm upset, but you know what? They've got Phoenix.
I couldn't tell. Yo, when ET gets hot in the draft, you know something has gone down. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is the redemption game, right? Looking at it from that positive angle, but I don't really feel it. We didn't see the impressive anything from it the last game, so East Coast are really gonna have to show out here. But now, if you're Thunder Awaken, okay, Nature's Prophet getting picked up here. That should be the Illich offlane option, and now you've got mobility. Now you've got either wave clear or utility. You've got another hero to hit the egg on top of it, so it's just gonna get a little bit tough here for Beast Coast. But like I said, maybe this is the redemption game. Maybe this is where we look at Hector at K1 and say, wow, that's what they were trying to do with the Doom in the last game. This time they actually do it.
Yeah, and well, redemption it will be, and they do get to move past the more annoying parts of their laning stage, and they do get to keep the Nyx Darkseer lane alive. But yeah, I felt it. I felt it in my bones. I was like, okay, they're gonna keep. There's a Monkey King. You press R, all the trees get cut. Wow.
I mean, yeah, it can happen. It will happen, right? At least once, but
Ugh,
is
I
that
just
worth
worry.
it?
I just worry. In addition to the fact that he's also playing versus a Mirana and Illich, who will become kind of your two primary egg hitters here.
Right.
I just wonder if Thunderwave can have maybe a little bit too robust of a lineup. And I think last time Illich certainly fell off the horse, was not able to become another core, was just scrambling to deal with was a very scary, 947 GPM Troll Warlord. This time around, though, it's gonna be up to him to prove himself on the Doom, and if Hector can become that same monster, or if this is gonna look a little bit pathetic. But again, we're not gonna say that. We're gonna hope for the best. We're gonna hope that Beast Coast have ridiculous team fight, and they certainly have better team fight than game two. I don't want to say better team fight than game one, but that's also where I think Thunder Awaken, at least with the Ember Spirit, will certainly be able to walk away from a lot of those initiations and a lot of what you're going to try to do. At least we got Dark Mago Tiny, though. That's something I'm always going to be pleased with. He's always going to walk across the map. Again, probably his top three heroes, along with his Bat Rider. And what you would probably say Invoker. I'd say those are probably the big three, but we'll have to see now. Some interesting alt chat.
And we have a pause at the start, and yeah, changing some words here at the start of the match, and well, at least this pause isn't for any sort of technical issues, I guess, which I don't know. We're all about positivity here in game 3. So, maybe the Doom works. Maybe this pause is going to be a short one. Lots of maybes, but for Beast Coast, there's got to be a plan, right? And we said this a couple of days ago. Nothing happens for no reason, right? There is always a plan from these Dota teams. There's always some sort of idea in place. The idea may not always be a good one. Sometimes even pro players do stupid things, but they had to at least have some faith in this Doom, right? Because game 2 goes so poorly for them, and they immediately pick it up again. So I have seen K1 put together pretty spectacular performances on the most random of hero picks before, so you can never really count them out entirely.
And, well, we'll see. The funniest thing would be if Sacred's just like, guys, I can't play it. I can't play Doom. And everybody in the draft is just like, what did you say? Singer's like, excuse me? But no, Sacred certainly can play Doom. He just is not playing it in this series for for whatever reason. But at least they do get to dodge out that monkey lane. But we will have to see, because I think at the same time, Alone is on probably his best hero up there. I want to say with his Tusk, but I think Knight is on his best hero. I think his Monkey King has just done so much in the group stage, really should be valued as highly as it has been, and the hero that has been getting banned out pretty frequently as well. It's where you wonder if Beast Coast didn't have enough bans in that second phase, and again, very consciously choosing to value the Ursa ban over the Monkey King. So we'll have to see if Knight can make this hero really work in that same fashion as right now. Poking, prodding, yeah. That's going to tank some tower shots there because Dark Mago hasn't placed his ward. He's going to wait to place his ward as long as he can because, yeah, you know, D wards, mid lane, it's all too common nowadays.
Just kind of very weird stuff there, but if he could get that information for his teammate, obviously it would have paid off, but for now, we'll see if there's a fight for the runes. Gojira's going to try and get the stun out first, but, well, he didn't actually go for it. The Impale doesn't come through. Knight stuns him with the Boundless, takes the bounties, and it is going to be a 3-for-1 trade-off here for Thunder Awaken. So they do begin with a slight edge as we get into the lane, ZT, but, well, I don't know. A single bounty rune is nice, but it's not the end of the world, obviously.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how this top lane's going to go. Of course, Gojira, having Boots Tango, is going to be looking for that creep cut. That's almost certain. And then it's just a matter of what Sacred can do to punish the Monkey King in the meantime, as they just hope that as many of these creeps don't get denied as possible, even though Excel doing a pretty nice job. But creep cut is going to happen. Excel is already moving to be prepared for it, and all Gojira has to do is do this cleanly, and Excel could go for the body blocks. If he gets that large camp spawn, we'll throw a wrench into the works, and yeah, with that slow, Gojira already says that, yeah, I gotta move.
Hmm. He's at least able to maintain the aggro, so he does pull the creeps, but yeah, the camp does end up spawning, and, well, this one's going to start looking very strange in terms of what creeps end up where, but like you said, they kind of knew this was coming on the Thunder Awaken side. It's just the nature of the lane, so doing their best to maintain things. Knight's going to get the creep waves to meet up, and it looks weird, but everybody's going to get at least something out of this.
Yeah, and shockingly, with the almost inadvertent small camp pull there, they got exactly what they want for Beast Coast. This wave is now just going to push into Sacred, and these creeps are not low enough to get denied. So this was absolutely perfect. Just a great read.
Gojira out here just trying to annoy Knight as much as possible, maybe steal a last hit or two, and just mess with the timing, and yeah, that kind of goes surprisingly well, considering the way that it started, but we'll see if Sacred can keep it up, because that's the problem. The lane might have been pushing into him, but Darkseer using the Ion Shell, yeah, it's gonna start pushing the other way pretty damn fast.
Yeah, the ebb and flow of Darkseer lanes.
So, coming in here with the dual breath, looking for a little bit of extra damage, but I don't know. Knight probably doesn't want to fight too much here. If he can get some Jingu stacks for free onto Sacred, sure, but outside of that, still kind of a risky play to make. In the meantime, ET, well, looking over at the middle lane, Dark Mago versus Alone. In the lane itself, not really sure how much we're going to see from either side in terms of aggressiveness, but both of these mid laners are on heroes that are perfect to just sort of get aggressive once they find their levels and dictate the pace of the game that way.
Yeah, and in this mid matchup, of course, already incredibly even, because Alone has a lot more attack speed to play around with, and Dark Mago has raw damage, but fighting for denies is equally hard for both of them. It's one of those matchups that once Alone hits level 6, though, as we see with every Ember Spirit, will just eventually win the regen war, where Dark Mago has to work maybe a shred harder, but really just easy farm lane for both sides.
Yeah. Just gonna poke at each other every once in a while, just in case, but shouldn't see too much aggression until later on. Speaking of maybe a lack of aggression, this bottom lane looks like it could be a little bit light on that front as well. You've got Mirana and Nature's Prophet, which, like a lot of Nature's Prophet's matchup, I guess we'll just wait and see when Illich opts to put a point in the Sprout, and then that'll kind of be our indicator of when they actually are good to go.
And until then, though, Stinger, of course, Phoenix, one of the best heroes at dealing with right-clicking lanes because of the attack slow from the spirits, but also Hector having the early chainmail. Just not that much damage actually gets through.
He can just hold his ground. He's got a full wand here as well, just in case they do try to get something onto him, so he's just going to sit here. He is going to farm and hopefully get off to a sort of stronger and faster start than he did in the previous match. Back up top. Things have pushed away from the lane a little bit, but Sacred has absolutely no mana as Stinger got himself caught a little bit there. Arrow, Starstorm on a Phoenix who was already playing on pretty low health, as now Excel's going to go down as well, but Knight's at least able to trade that one out.
Yep, gets Jingu as well, so Sacred's on the run, but yeah, bottom they just caught the Phoenix in between those spirit charges, and Sacred is still running here because Knight is gunning for it, and he will run out of Jingu stacks, so it ends up not being a kill on the Darkseer, but completely out of mana, resources, anything, needs his courier, and is getting no help from the Tiny because he refilled mid's bottle.
Yeah. It's going to help out Dark Mago for sure, but doesn't do quite as much for any other lane. So, well, support's going down here in the early stages. Other than that, though, the cores really didn't end up caring too much, which, I don't know, it's not unexpected, but you know, it's a little bit cold, but there's going to be that Sprout out from Illich, and they actually time it quite nicely when the Quelling Blade had already been used, so the Doom got stuck up in there for just a second or two longer. Doesn't really help them find a kill, but it's more harass as... Speaking of harass, Excel, he makes his way over maybe a little bit early. Bounty runes, or not bounties, excuse me, power rune not spawning up for maybe another 10 here, so interesting choice, but at least they're in position now. Alone, though, is 6, so he's able to make that quick trip back to his base. And now they really can't afford to contest that rune. Regen into Alone's bottle for free.
Yeah, it was a nice play from Gojira, trying to break the Ember's TP underneath his tower, but the Impale just barely doesn't connect, and then simply Thunder Awaken bring the numbers to the runes. So Dark Mako doesn't get his bottle refill, and of course, level 6, that Sleight of Fist spam isn't really going to hurt that Tiny too much, but that's why Alone has the split build, because he knows that magic damage is the way that he wins this lane, and getting aggressive, he wants the chain, and they're going in.
Okay, got the Sprout. He's able to cut his way through it pretty quickly, but he's still in some trouble. They need to be able to assist him. Gojira's coming over. Stinger flies by as well, but with Michael coming over, the Starstorm should still be enough. It's not the Starstorm, it's actually Illich who gets the kill, but either way, take Dark Mako down. They'll get Stinger as well. Now they try to cross back onto their own side of the river to hunt Gojira. And the Sleight of Fist will miss. Michael has no mana, so... Gojira is able to walk away, but... No offense to Gojira, but he's not really the one that they were worried about there. The Tiny going down is obviously the bigger play, and the Tier 1 tower taken ET at 7 minutes. That is not good.
No, the power of the Nature's Prophet and an extremely well-timed glyph and gank just ends up resulting in Dark Mako losing his home very, very quickly here. And you look over and be like, oh, he's got a blink dagger. He was leaving anyway, but no, Dark Mako has made no progress, and that's where finishing the phase boots as well, it's going to hurt him even more, where the absolute rush maybe would have paved the way a little bit quicker, but instead we're going to have to farm in that awkward position yet again.
Not ideal circumstances for the Tiny, but he's going to have to make do. The question, though, is just how long Alone wants to stick around here. He is staying in the lane even with the tower gone, but he has remnants. He took his tower. He found the kill. He's in the position now where if he wants to, he can make an attempt at maybe rolling some of these other lanes, but... Well, I say that ET, but what other lane could he really go to? The Doom's already farming the jungle, and if you go top, Darkseer is not going to be easy to bring down. You can lock him down once, and then he's going to try and surge himself out, but don't really have a better target, so... They're going to make their way up there. The problem is Dark Mako's in the area as well, so... Is this still a fight that they want? They've got the Arcane Rune, so Alone does have more to work with, but... Yeah, he feels like it's too risky.
Well, he leaves a Remnant just in case, but that's where the Wrath of Nature kind of grieves, because now they're very aware that there is the high ground ward up there. They're not going to walk in until that D ward comes through. You know, this is a very early smoke. Okay, trying to get Dark Mako in the right position, and they might get Excel just because of that.
The arrow from Michael is going to miss. Excel will be taken down. Alone did jump back to his Remnant, but a little bit late to actually do anything, ET, and now... Oh, you would have been better off just not using it, because now he walks back mid, and you've lost out on a little bit of time.
Yeah, with Dark Mako in front and the courier, the D ward comes through, and Beast Coast are happy. They really just cancel out any play from going on, and Thunder Awaken do lose a little bit of time. And Dark Mako, he's starting to get more and more confident. It's level 7 as max level Ava, so damage-wise, he's sitting very pretty. It's where they're trying to get that attention away from Hector as much as they can right now, because he is still just mode farm, even gets the skeleton creep as well. So 4-4-0 build coming out too. This is a Doom meant for net worth. He is not going to slow down in the slightest.
Not even considering a fight, so... Well, we'll see how much farm they can find for him as Dark Mako is able to run into Excel here in the jungle. They're going to get the Ava into the toss. The Impale comes out. This is not a fast kill, but it is a kill going their way. Dark Mako gets it. The problem is, well, remember when we said the Doom was not building for a fight? The fight comes to him whether he wants it or not.
Yeah, in very similar fashion, they just wait for him to use his Quelling Blade preemptively, and then they get maybe that lockdown for a second longer, and an arrow lands. And then kill into tower. Simple as that.
Objective focus here from Thunder Awaken. 2 tier 1s taken in the first 10 minutes, and now eyeing up Stinger. There's the Boundless. Jump forward to the Remnant. He's going to try to get some sort of deny to Roche, but just takes too long, and Knight finds the pickup.
And Thunder Awaken still playing with a real nice lead. These 10 minutes, though, Tome gets passed over to the Nyx Assassin, so now it becomes a matter of whether or not you have that infrastructure in place, where your sentries are placed, and how Gojira finds those connections. Because if he can, well, that'll make that Blink Dagger seem not so far away. If him and the Tiny can get business done, then that'll get us to that next stage where even the Monkey King will have to be fearful of showing in the lanes. But until then, looks like this first vendetta isn't really going to make anything of it. They'd love to find the Ember, and Alone doesn't have a sentry in the mid lane, but he's in between sentries right now, and this is the most likely play for that Nyx to make, so I don't think he's going to give his life.
Yeah. Vendetta runs out of time. Dark Mako will simply take the lane back over and go back to farming. Progress towards the Blink Dagger is starting to come together now, so it was a bit of a rough start. They take Dark Mako down once, they take his tower so early on, but if he can recover, if he can still get that blink, you still have that window of opportunity where he's going to be able to get in, drop the combo, especially if he has either an Ion Shell on him or Gojira to help him out. There's a hell of a lot they can do, but right now they need to not get spotted by this Sentry Ward, although Excel doesn't actually see them there, so maybe there's something the Nyx can do. He's not under Vendetta right now, so this is kind of awkward, but you at least push everyone away. Maybe they can get some damage onto the tower, but they need to be careful of this. Over in the middle lane, yeah, K1 already falling back. No tower there anymore, and Spidey senses were tingling.
Yeah, as well as using the Moonlight Shadow, not aggressively, just if anything to react to that smoke, and there just was no good way for that to dispel us. Michael, though, that could be your free pick. Just in the river, has leaps, but gets pulled out of it. Great timing from Sacred, but the Tiny needs help, and no, isn't going to TP away.
Tried for it, didn't make it, and that's the unfortunate aspect of the rest of the lineup having to focus everything in for that Mirana kill. There was no one to back up Dark Mako, and now their tower is going to get hit again. This is the final outer tower, final tier 1. I don't really know if they can mount a defense here.
But Gojira, he's trying, but Orchid Reveal just walks up on Illich, and Illich is going to kill him with the burn.
It is not the way they wanted that to go. They dropped the wall for that as well, so this is just an overall bad engagement for them, and look at Alone. Still waiting to see what he can get. I think he realized how low he dropped Stinger, but without any further remnants, you just have to hope the Phoenix, for some reason, walks into you, and that's just not going to happen.
No, and you couldn't ask for a better way for Illich to reveal his item, and again, Smoker from Thunder Awaken, they're looking for a play. Leading man alone, just trying to get that connection with the arrow. Gojira, this would be your best target here to break the smoke with the Vendetta and then look for the disengage, but they move past. Looks like they're not going to find it, but Sacred's getting dangerously close right now, and they already know that he's pretty low mana, so this might be their easy kill, and this tier 1 is already basically dead. That would be a pretty darn easy layup, but instead they hover back towards mid. Alone gets a DD, and oh, Dark Mago. They found a bigger kill.
They get the stun. Gojira doesn't even go all the way in. He realizes he can't save his teammate in time, but it doesn't help him get away. Close the gap, they find the pick, and Thunder Awaken playing with just a supreme level of confidence right now, ET, and there we go. They'll double their way back towards the tier 1 top because they weren't quite able to finish it off last time around.
You know, with the Treants, with the DD on Ember, it just works, and while this 4-man of Thunder Awaken continue to make plays, well, Knight's got a Battle Fury. He goes for the farming build on Monkey because he knows that, well, he is the core in this game. He's effectively the only core in this game, and if he goes to scale, and he's allowed to scale, well, then he probably will win. It's where Dark Mako needs this Blink Dagger, and of course, only 10 gold off is going to passively get it. You got to make a play with the Blink on the Tiny and the BKB on Hector. If you're not going to find anything after that, then we're quickly going to struggle to find a game to play for in very similar fashion to Game 2.
They have the items. They've got some sort of power spike. Let's see what they can do with it. First of all, they need to actually find a target because there's nobody directly in front of them at the moment, so time to go on an adventure. Gojira's going to pop the Vendetta, start making his way towards that top lane, and, well, Excel's maybe not the most valuable of targets, but he would be an easy one to hit up. you see the Jakiro already sensing something is wrong. He's moved his way into the tree line. Only other person Alone sees is, or Gojira sees is Alone. This would be a huge kill if they could pull it off, though. Alone's just that little bit faster. Gojira tried, but they don't get it.
Yeah, now Alone in the wave. They're pinging out the Doom, but Doom does have BKB. They would need to catch him with the Ice Path and then hope there's enough burst, and no, drops it.
Okay. The arrow is not going to connect there. The Doom does get deployed, though, so Alone has to back off, but they need help for the Doom. Going to be able to heal him up initially, but now... Can they get back onto that Ember Spirit? They're going to drop a very aggressive Supernova. Does it hit onto anything, though? No, it doesn't, and now Sacred's in some trouble. He's going to get rooted by the Searing Chain. Starstorm drops him down. Knight is now going to join the fight, channeling out the Wukong's command. Gets a Boundless Strike onto Gojira. They're going to quickly clean out the Nyx Assassin. Well, maybe not quickly. He actually did manage to survive there with the Carapace, and that allows Dark Mago to get in onto Excel for some sort of pickoff, but now Tiny's got to get out of here. His blink is up. He's not going to be able to blink just yet, though. Knight is going to hit him, and now Gojira has to come in to try to help. Gets the first stun down, but the arrow is going to shut down the Tiny. Dark Mago and Gojira fall, and Thunder Awaken, yeah, they hold their ground pretty damn well. They lose Excel, not really a big deal for them, and they get 5 kills.
And again, just not the fight, not the reveal that they wanted. And again, it was extremely well read from Thunder Awaken. Everything with the Nyx Assassin was just beautiful, but it just doesn't end up finding them that burst. And then Thunder Awaken are the ones to make a mistake by trying to go into the Doom and narrowly not able to connect with the arrow, but it ends up all pretty much not mattering. And then immediately onto the Roche. It's Nature's Prophet hero and what this hero can enable. Just starting to see why teams are picking him 23-24 pick. It's just way too simple, way too easy. And Alone even goes for the Deso build, knowing that he has this lead. He's got an Aegis to play with. Defensive items be damned. I'm just going to make this game so much easier for the rest of my cores.
Well, here comes Beast Coast looking to force something. They get the toss, they get the Ava, they get the Impale. So Michael is going to be taken down. It's a nice play, but now here comes Alone. Never mind. He jumps back out immediately afterwards.
Yeah, just a little bit of a poke, a little bit of a, hey, I'm still here, but fantastic spot to be in. Knight just finished off his BKB on the Monkey King. It's great that they're able to find the Mirana, but it still is just pebbles at this point. They need to find bigger picks with bigger ultimates, and yet again, they've got the Doom back up, so Hector could be the one to go into the offensive. And I do like that now with his build, he is deciding to get that Blink Dagger just one item sooner, isn't greeting out for full Octarine, Aether Lens, whatever, is saying that, okay, Tiny, Dark Mago, love you, you're going to go and do your own thing, I'm going to get a Blink Dagger and go in and do my own thing, and then we actually have a good jump. And Alone, first life.
Oh, they haven't quite gotten through him yet. Now the Wukong is going to catch everyone. 3 heroes trapped inside. Gojira and Singer dead immediately. Dark Mago finished off as Alone comes back in for the Sleight of Fist, and this is just not great. That's going to be 5 dead unless Sacred can somehow run himself out of here, but he cannot. Sleight of Fist with the Deso, just too much damage.
Just wicked fast, just, again, great reactions, getting Alone out of there, and then just the jump ends up not being enough damage, and again, the Nature's Prophet is so good at finding a target. He finds the Phoenix, they use and abuse the vision, there's no egg that gets off in that fight, and sure, you lose Illich, he gets denied, who cares? No gold goes into your enemy's pockets, and you just get another successful team fight. There's just no way for Beast Coast to catch their opponents off guard right now. Every pickoff is turning into a full 5-on-5 that they're just losing by not being able to find the right order, the right target, the right timing, and now, well, you lost a fight, you used your BKB, you used your Doom. I guess Hector's back to farming, but so is the rest of Thunder Awaken, who are getting better and better at using the map than you are.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice taking a look at the net worth on the Doom. It's up there. It's second place. It's still respectable, but at this point, what is it for? What are we seeing out of Beast Coast that justifies this level of commitment to their carry? Because we're not seeing it just yet. Dark Mago, he can still maybe make some plays here and there, but maybe not onto Alone. Last time they tried that, obviously, some 50 seconds ago, they lost pretty heavily as Gojira steps in front of the bullet. Get down, Mr. President, but it looks like he's dead, and the President may be as well. Sacred on the run, gonna get himself taken down. And that defensive play is all for naught. Stinger's gonna fall. The root's there onto Dark Mago. He's finished off, and it's just, if one hero dies, another 2 to 3 minimum are going down with them. It's just not possible for Beast Coast to avoid that right now.
Yeah, and, well, they're saving their glyph for everything. They're going to get immediately onto that bottom tier 2. The objectives are just rolling like heads, and sure, Aegis is going to be reclaimed in minute 20, and they do glyph bottom, so something to fight for, but man, Illich just keeps on finding Stinger. The Phoenix just is not in this game. This is just nothing. There's nothing to play around. There's nothing to play for, and we've got a BKB queued up for Dark Mago, but I feel like that's a real expensive item that seems like a dream at this point. They need to win a team fight. They need to find a pick. They need to kill anyone at this stage and hopefully get out of that realm of luxury. But it's even where Thunder Awaken know how they die. Both supports have cloaks. They know the Dark Mago is their best and only bet. In Beast Coast, they need something else. At least Hector has a full Shiva's Guard now. Really big, expensive, huge team fight item for them to play around. But still, until he gets that blink, I just don't know how they're going to land on anything. And, well, Dark Mago, see ya. The casual plays are starting there 3-7-1. This is the worst tiny game I think I've seen Dark Mago play in a long time.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the flip side of that coin is that this is one of the stronger Ember Spirit games that Alone's put together. 7-0-11 on his Ember. So, well, that's how it goes when both squads have these sort of star mid laners. If one guy has a great game, it's probably at the expense of the other. Is Stinger gonna get himself picked off? They do drop the Doom onto the Ember, but where's your damage? Who follows this up? They're just not really doing enough at the moment. Alone is slowly ticking down, and the Aegis actually just timed out at the worst possible moment, so he will die here. Somebody's gonna have to deny him, but Dark Mago, he's able to get in there with the Avalanche to make sure he gets the kill, but now he's not getting back out. In terms of the gold exchange, that's probably worth it for Dark Mago, but it puts his team in a really awkward spot.
Yeah, and that's your best bet. To doom the ticking out Aegis Ember Spirit and then still give up 3 or 4 heroes in tow. And that's your best option. It's just a hard pill to swallow at this stage of the game. There's just still not that much going on, not that many great things going on. Knight, I think, has a full Ags as well in the Monkey King. He's just not been touched. Nobody's even made an attempt on him because they don't have enough damage. And if you start on the Monkey King and he gets Jingu, then he immediately heals back up to full. I don't even want to think about what Lincoln Spheres look like for Thunder Awaken because, well, how do Beast Coast pop those? I mean, this game is just getting harder and harder to watch. At least you're going to have that blink that I've been talking about for the longest time here for Hector, and only another 700 gold, but just wonder what that is going to cost them because the other 3 cores on Thunder Awaken aren't slowing down. There's no reason for them to. They just continue to farm absolutely everything every single time. They're not afraid of you, and they're absolutely not afraid of Beast Coast right now.
And with Illich keeping the waves pushed out here, they could at least poke at the high ground. A full-on siege attempt is maybe still a little bit out of the question considering they don't have the man advantage right now, but they can really push Beast Coast back into some defensive posturing if they want to.
Yeah, look at this. The movement getting cut off. Okay, denies the DD in the mid lane, but BKB now on the Ember Spirit too. And Thunder Awaken also timed out perfectly. We'll have to see what Roche looks like, but Roche being only a minute out from the earliest timer, they really aren't going to have to wait and sit idly for too long here before that next easy objective presents itself. But Beast Coast, it's time. Hector has the Blink Dagger. If he finds the Blink Initiation onto Alone or Knight, they can kill those heroes. They have to stick onto them for quite a while, but they can actually get Burst going and then get a successful kill on a core and then hopefully snowball that with this next Roche timer. But until then, we are still playing at quite the big disadvantage. BKB on Dark Mago as well. If there was ever a timing, now would be it.
Well, let's see how they approach this. They're grouped up quite a bit in this middle lane. There we go. There's one smoke on Stinger. Gojira's kind of has his in the backpack. But for now, they're just going to wander up onto the high ground, and Alone is scouting this out. Able to get himself away. There was a Carapace attempt there from Gojira, but it didn't quite time up the way he wanted it to. But Gojira, I don't know about this one. He is pushing his way forward. Another Carapace coming through. This time it hits, though, and alone. He's in some trouble. Can they bring him down? They're able to hit him up with the Doom. The Wukong's Commando was deployed, so now that they have the kill, they need to get back out, but they can't do so. Dark Mago, he's going to be taken down. Got to buy back in from Stinger, but at this point, I don't think there's much of a fight left to be had. Sacred's going to get run down and finished off, and well, they'll fall back on Beast Coast. They did find the kill that they wanted. It's just the cost is, again, just too high. If they can't do it cleanly, it just feels like it's not really worth it.
Yeah, you didn't get the BKB off. The arrow landing on Dark Megu is really what spells everything. And okay, get the monkey.
Knight is trying to fall back, though. But the Impale will hit him. Do they have the damage, though? The DOT is on him, and okay. Hector gets it. And now the threat of the high ground push is just forcibly ripped out of Thunder Awaken's hands.
Yeah, little do Thunder know that that wasn't even a play they needed to force, because Roche was the earliest possible timer. But now this is going to delay out another 55 seconds. They're going to have to wait for the Monkey King, and gives you a little bit more hope for Beast Coast and what they're actually going to be able to snowball. Because now that Doom that just got expended and was 2 minutes away is going to feel a lot closer when it comes to the contest. He's also going to get taken out. Little by little, Beast Coast are finding the mistakes.
Starting to look a little bit better here. Still a massive, massive deficit that they need to make up for. Dark Mago has to pop the BKB. He sees the arrow coming at the last second, and that's maybe not the way you wanted to be forced into using your 9-second charge, but can't afford to get caught out there. If Dark Mago dies with questionable buyback status, that high ground is in danger.
So gets the reset, and now everything is about that Roche. It's where Beast Coast really will find their best chance as a fight too. Is okay, well, same play, no BKB, but Sacred's there with the Lotus Orb. Unfortunately, it wasn't there to save the BKB initially, but it could be worse. But this is Beast Coast's best chance to take an engagement, and something that they have to stop the monkeys from doing. This is where Thunder Awaken are focused. They're in that choke point near the pit where they could all just die, get hit by Egg, get back walled. This is where that Wombo combo could be the thing to change this game, but they got to go now. There's no waiting time, and Stinger, hey, getting closer. Roche at 40% HP, but
okay, that actually works out better than I thought that it would, but it may not have hit anybody. It does push them out of the pit, though. Excel is going to get taken down. The Jakiro, though, will buy back immediately. He doesn't have TP, though, so he's out of the fight for a little bit. This might be an opportunity. Can they push their way forward onto anything? As of right now, it's kind of looking like no, but the Doom is still available. They just need to make sure K1 doesn't go down, and that's a bit of an iffy subject, but the Sunray comes in. The Lotus Orb will be deployed. They did get the Doom down on tonight, but they still ended up losing the Doom. The back wall does come through, but at this point, they're already in retreat. Everybody below half HP. Sacred gonna get himself finished off. Gojira, though, does go in for the 2-man Impale. Dark Mago's gonna try to fight his way out of this one. Going for the toss. It's enough to take down Knight, but they're gonna need more. Dark Mago buying back. Does he have his blink up? Yes, he does. He's gonna blink right back in for the Ava, but there's no more backup. All the teammates died before he could rejoin, so he has to just fall back to the base, but alone, not gonna let him go. They get the Searing Chains. They get down the Silence. They get down the Stun, and that's a dieback from your Tiny. A Rampage for Illich. And Beast Coast, maybe just kind of overplay their hand. I felt like there were 2 or 3 opportunities where they could back off with maybe half the lineup still standing, ET. Instead, they quite literally do the exact opposite. They double down, they buy back, and they push in, and it obviously does not work.
yeah, and then immediately back onto the building. But man, this Nature's Prophet hero, just ridiculous stuff. Just A-clicking, super obnoxious. Tanks his full illusion as well from the back wall, but all the spells just don't connect. And it just felt like every single ultimate was a soul ultimate. There was just no cohesion from Beast Coast. And, well, they say that we don't even need to go for the Roche immediately. They would probably want to give the Aegis over to the Monkey King. So they leave a 60% Roshan just barely out of reach of Beast Coast. And Beast Coast would have to throw their bodies yet again at Thunder Awaken to hope for a successful team fight. And looking for a lone, but they'll have to settle for A. And well, we'll see if that's going to be enough here, because that was Doom's BKB, so doesn't have it.
Yep. Stinger gets taken down. Now the root is going to be there, and there's no backup. Not even a little bit. Gojira and Sacred are just falling back, and I mean, at this point, Illich is just unbelievably strong. 13, 1, and 16 as they double back into the pit. If you're Beast Coast, I mean, well, I guess you're not willing to give up ET, right? There's still the Wombo combo on your high ground that could maybe play out in your favor, but it feels like that really is the last way that they have to get back into this. They need to hit everything onto everyone and win that fight. This is not going to help them. Sacred's in trouble. Yeah, normal punch. That's neat, I guess, but didn't really do him a whole lot of good in terms of staying alive.
Yeah, thought that would maybe do a little bit more, and of course without buyback because he bought that item out, and now Gojira nearly one shot, and yep, two shot. Just not a lot of life to give, and I think Beast Coast have one more fight in them, and a fight that will probably be under their tier 4s because they've got to buy 20 seconds here for their Darkseer as Stinger. I don't know if he's gonna get that time. Need to protect the egg now.
Village is changing his focus. Now he'll go back to the egg, and he doesn't actually get it off in time, so okay. Those 1 or 2 hits that he threw onto Dark Mago there really do make the difference, because if he had stayed focused on Stinger the whole time, the egg would have been taken down. Instead, Illich gives over a massive amount of gold with his godlike streak, and, well, they bought time. They're going to have at least one more engagement here from Beast Coast, and an engagement where hopefully the Supernova is back up for them.
Yeah, and well, not as much gold as Saber I gave earlier, but you know,
True.
still quite the hefty margin. And again, can Beast Coast snowball this, or is this just gonna be them getting caught? Oh no!
Make the
Hector.
jump. And they save him. No, they can't. Stinger's now dead as well. They might not even get anything here. Michael's the lowest, but he was able to buy time with the Yules, so he will stay standing. And this is just an absolute disaster. Sacred's dead. They get the root onto Dark Mago. His BKB's still on cooldown. And honestly, that might be the GG right there. They're down 4. There are 0 buybacks available among those dead heroes. Tier 4 towers are under attack. There it is. GG called. Thunder Awaken. Well, they play spectacularly. There's no denying that. But it feels like ET, they got a little bit of help with this insistence from Beast Coast that the carry Doom could be a thing for them.
Yeah, just what felt like a flex pick, and as well as I think Beast Coast not wanting second pick in this series at all, as Thunder Awaken lost game 1 with last pick, just feels odd. Feels like they weren't gunning for the series win at the end of the day, and sure, they try things out. They maybe mess around a little bit. Dark Mega gets to play 2 of his 3 classic heroes, but just doesn't feel great. And I think that's where they just completely drop the ball. And I think Thunder Awaken get there a little bit of an upset here because Beast Coast was 100% going to be favored. They're the invited team. They're the team that got to completely sit back and watch everybody else's second phase. And Thunder Awaken say, no, we're ready. We're going. We're going to maybe show off some things that TSM also showed us off earlier. But at the same time, I also think Alone continues to prove why he's kind of the scary guy. First phases hero every single time. Give Illich and Knight the perfect counter picks anytime they get last pick. I mean, they're a hard team to draft against when you just throw Alone to the Wolves and Alone still is able to perform. It's just one of those teams that defies expectations. And then, I mean, it's funny because A just plays Jakiro all day, but hey, it works. It's where the value is just felt with every hero pick that Thunder Awaken have gone for.
Yeah, I mean, it's Excel and it's AV1 who are just basically saying, we're okay with playing 2 heroes. And then that's basically it for as long as opposing teams will let us get away with it. So Thunder Awaken feel pretty good. Got to be a nice start for them. Not just winning this first series, obviously that's fantastic. They stay in the upper bracket, but to once again get one over what most consider to be their primary regional rival in Beast Coast with new lineups on both sides, right? Thunder Awaken just continue to kind of have that little bit more than their opponents, and if you're Beast Coast, I don't know. For their lower bracket match, maybe they start shying away from not the Doom pick, because it still feels good, ET, just not the Doom in Hector's hands.
Yeah, maybe they have a talk, and you know, maybe they throw Argus under the bus for this one. You know, say yeah, Argus Doom just couldn't win with it, just not good enough. But you know, yeah, ugly stuff. And now, well, you say regional rivals. We'll have to see what Thunder Awaken are looking for in their EG matchup because that's also something that could very real and really be a possibility here, as well as, well, let's say well, EG loses their next match. Well, then we got the Beast Coast matchup. It's where SA versus SA in this phase three is just always going to be exciting, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, it's going to be some good stuff coming, really, no matter what the matchup looks like. And, well, hold on just a moment here, because I'm double checking that we do have our bracket up to date. Think this is correct, ET. We're going to slap it on screen anyway, just because uh, we don't care about the consequences. So here it is, folks. The updated bracket at the end of today's games. We got TSM and Thunder Awaken on to the next round in the upper bracket. Meanwhile, down in the lower bracket, 5 Rat 4 Staff and Beast Coast should be the matchup there. So, to be honest, there was a part of me, ET, that wanted to say, oh, this is maybe not what we expected, at least not the Thunder Awaken Beast Coast, but I'm not really sure that there were set expectations. Just with all of these Phase 3 direct invite seeds having some updated rosters, it kind of felt hard to say who should or should not be winning what particular matchup.
Yeah, and of course, we have maybe a slight inkling of what's going on behind the scenes, but Thunder Awaken, playing all of phase two, scrimming pretty much every day as well. Maybe they're coming into this series just a little bit hotter, and that's something that we'll see if it bites Beast Coast, because now they got to deal with elimination. They can't lose anymore.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a rough one, right? You just started your run and you're already potentially facing up against some elimination scenarios, but we'll see how they respond. Should be a good test for them and their new lineup right at the very start. In the meantime, once again, we are waiting to receive any word if we're going to have a winner's interview from the Thunder Awaken side. We've got some people behind the scenes sort of making some inquiries, seeing if anybody wants to come and talk to us. Perfectly understandable if they don't, DT, but we are going to give it a little bit to figure out if that is going to be the case or not. So, the games are done. If you want to jet on out of here, by all means, wouldn't hold it against you, but we may have an interview coming your way. So we will be giving you an update one way or another in the next couple of minutes if that's happening. So stick around. We hopefully will be able to talk to someone on the Thunder Awaken side in just a little bit. Okay, here we are. Hello, everybody. We are back again and ready to go here with our winner's interview for the second best of three of the day. We have Knight, or Smiling Knight, from Thunder Awaken here to talk to us. So, first things first, thank you for coming to talk to us, and congratulations on getting the series win.
Yeah, hello guys, thank you.
So, I'm gonna ask you the first and maybe most obvious question, because when we first saw your team sort of slot into the lobby, I recognize your name from some Eastern European stuff in the past, but for a lot of people in the North and South American scene, maybe sort of not knowing exactly who you are, mostly because SA doesn't always pull from the European region. So how does it feel for you, sort of making that move, coming to a South American team? How has that transition been for you so far?
It feels very good for me. Like nobody has any expectations on me, and I can play without any pressure. I just having fun with my team. It feels very good.
And I do want to ask you, although I think I know the answer already. You are not with the team. You're still dealing with the maybe the ping and the time difference. Is that something that you or the team have talked about in terms of moving you, or are you still going to play from where you're at?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna move after this tournament. Maybe in a week after tournament, I'm gonna move, and we gonna play together on bootcamp.
Sounds pretty good. And I guess one last question before I hand you over to ET. We have seen a lot in these games and pro series so far. You've been able to uh, honestly get put on a lot of heroes that you have looked and felt very comfortable with. Do you feel that effect in some of the drafts for these squads? Like some of your teammates maybe take uh, bans away so that your pool is a little bit more free?
Mm, I didn't understand the question. Can you
Yeah,
repeat?
I'll let me rephrase that. That's my bad. Um, are you feeling like you have maybe more freedom to play more of the heroes that you like, more of the heroes that you're comfortable with this lineup?
Mm, yeah, I have a lot of freedom. Like I say, like five heroes, uh, and like my team chooses like the most comfortable for them, and they trust me. Like when I want some new heroes, they trust me and they let me play it.
Looked pretty good on just about everything that they put you on so far. So off to a good start, and I'll let ET get a couple of words in at this point.
Yeah, I guess a few questions. And really, I want you to kind of pull back a few months or even, maybe near TI. How did you even get scouted for Thunder Awaken? Of course, behind the scenes, the roster shuffles, all that stuff happens extremely quickly. Who is the first person to come up to you, or did you come up to them? How did they find you? Because for a lot of people, like we said, you kind of came out of nowhere and then are just suddenly on Thunder Awaken and kind of owning.
Yeah, I had Alon on my friend list like maybe for a year, uh, and he just messaged me one evening, and he said me, "Do you wanna go Peru?" I said, "Okay, I need to think like a few days," and I thought about it. I checked for like other invitations in my region, and I thought Thunder Awaken was the best possibility for me to play. So I I chose them.
Yeah, it certainly has been kind of nice so far. And I guess being in, of course, you're not there just yet. Maybe boot camp, we'll see you in SA. But how have scrims been? Have they been easier? Have you felt a different level of competition, or do you think they're just as competitive as back at home?
I mean, first screams were like super different for me from what I've been used to. Like everybody was just fighting, running non-stop. Like in Europe, you have like one team race pact, another team race pact. We just farm, we sit our part of map, and here people like they always ready to press spells on each other, always ready to dive. Uh, it felt very funny, like I was playing like a computer game, like
Having
people are
fun?
having fun. Yeah, people having fun.
And are you having
Um,
more fun so far?
yeah, like but first few days was really hard for me because I uh, wasn't used to high ping, and also I had to not sleep all night and
Hmm.
to play Dota with my team. Yeah, but then it became good, and I'm comfortable now.
And
And
what would you
also
say?
also communication, like
Hmm.
it was really difficult for me to play because everybody uh, spoke Spanish between each other, and like they speak to me English. But now I can recognize each voice, and it's easy for me.
And is there one guy on the team you think that you're always you maybe talk to first compared to everybody else? Maybe your lane partner, or who's the one guy that gets you talking in the fights and in the game?
Uh, I mean, the person who I talk the most, I think, it's Alon. Like
Mm,
he talks the most with me, like outside of game and inside probably also.
okay. Okay, cool, cool. And that, I mean, you answered pretty much everything I wanted. You're absolutely owning. I'm excited to hear more from you, man. It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming and talking.
Alon is the beast as well, and my other
The
teammates.
humble, the humble,
Uh
humble, humble carry
huh.
player. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, my guys are owning.
Well, we appreciate you coming and talking to us, and we will let you go and actually get some sleep now. So, Smiling Knight, thank you so much, and good luck to you and Thunder Awaken in the next round.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
Now, will the cameras break again? You know what? No, we'll just preempt it. We'll switch over to the other screen. We won't let the cameras break on us, ET. See? I'm ahead of the game
Perfect.
now. All right, you guys all out there thinking, oh, what is this guy doing? But and then we swap back over here, except I forgot to change it back to 2 outlines. So I always mess up something. But hello again. We're back. Ignore my ramblings. We got to talk to Smiling Knight there at the end of that, and honestly, I am really glad that we got to talk to him. It would have been nice to speak to any of the Thunder Awaken players, and obviously, ET, we have gotten to interview a couple of them in the past, but he is kind of the most interesting aspect, right? We saw players move from region to region, but the Eastern Europe to SA network is not a very busy one in recent years. So nice to get to talk to him. Nice to see how he's adjusting. Obviously, in terms of gameplay, they all appear to be on the same page, but nice to get some behind the scenes knowledge as well.
No, definitely, and good to know that you're just buddies. Just say, "Come on, let's go." You know, it's great to see a team formed and built up on at the very first thing, trust. You know, something that you love to see, and clearly it's looking great. They're in the upper bracket now. They get to maintain that position, and we'll see if they can keep that position as they go forward in the tournament. But no, just very pleasant guy, very pleasant young guy as well. You know, some of these guys they've got an ass on their head, but he's really fun, really nice.
Yeah, and between him and Alone, those are both some younger players doing some very impressive things. But that's always kind of been the formula for South America. You've got the veterans in the 3 through 5. You bring in the young guns at 1 and 2, and you do very solid things. So congratulations to Thunder Awaken. They move on. They'll play TSM 2 days from now because tomorrow we do get the other uh, upper bracket quarterfinals matchups going. That is EG versus Wildcard and Nouns versus Infinity. So a couple of other teams making their first official debuts with their new rosters. So today was already pretty exciting. ET, we're set up for hopefully just as good of our matchups tomorrow.
No, very excited, especially excited for the Nouns debut because I just keep hearing about this Nouns team in scrims, and now they gotta actually win the playoff games. But no, I'm very excited. It's very fun and more NA gaming.
Mm-hmm. And for now, though, we do have to say goodbye. 2 best of 3s in the books. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon for 2 more. Same start time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Hope you join us. But for now, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.